Warning: Family Guy is a series for adults. It is not recommended for children or people who do not have a sense of humor. Meg is an extremely complex character and definitely worth making an entire video about. Throughout the seasons, she is extremely despised by practically everyone for no good reason. If you've already found her bizarre because of the curiosities I brought in the previous video, in this video you'll be amazed. Subscribe to the channel and like the video for more content like this. Take the opportunity to suggest the theme for the next video below in the comments. In the last video, I showed you some secrets about the entire family, so you already know some important things about Meg. If you haven't watched it yet, hurry up and see the video right away. But what you may not know is that the character is much more complex than she seems. That's why we're going to bring you some facts that have already happened to her. She had her name changed by Peter. 12th season, episode 4. Initially, Meg's name was supposed to be Meg Griffin. After her birth, Lois gave the document with the correct name to Peter, so he could register it at the registry office. But, as Peter is an idiot and wanted to be funny, he purposely changes the name on the certificate to Megatron. So, legally, she's called Megatron Griffin. She was abandoned at the fire station. Season 11, Episode 2. As if having her gender and name changed at birth because of Peter's idiocy wasn't bad enough, she was so rejected at birth that her parents tried to abandon her at the fire station when she was just a baby. Apparently it didn't work out, because if it had, she would have found a family that loved her and had a much better life. It's really a shame. She has hormonal problems. 18th season 18, episode 14. In one scene, while Peter and Chris are throwing away some things, they find a bottle of medicine. When Chris reads the label, it says, Meg's estrogen supplements. Meg quickly gets her pills back, as apparently she hadn't taken them for some time. She came out as trans. Season 4, episode 30. In one of the future travel episodes, Stewie sees what happened to his family, 30 years in the future. Once there, he discovers that Meg has come out as trans and now is called Ron. We might think she chose that name because it's the end of Megatron, but it's revealed that she met a guy named Ron and liked the name. Furthermore, this episode takes place before the episode in which the revelation of her name change at birth occurs. She became a bulletproof vest tester. 18th season, episode 13. I had to include this one because it also takes place in the future. In another episode that shows the Griffin's future, it is shown that Meg became a bulletproof vest tester. It even makes sense for someone as despised as her to have such a humiliating job. The only inconsistency is that in this future she did not come out as trans, giving us the opportunity to imagine which of the two futures is canonical. She was replaced by a Russian spy. 15th season, episode 20. In the same episode that Peter's countless children appear, Meg is killed and replaced by a Russian spy. From that point on, the original Meg would have died and the Meg we see is an imposter. Since the continuity of the series is not exactly linear, it is possible that the Meg who becomes a Russian spy in the third episode of the 8th season 8 is already Meg's replacement. In this episode we see that she is one of the Russian spies infiltrated in America. She has already fallen in love with Santa Claus. 18th season, episode 9. In this episode, Meg takes Stewie to take a photo on Santa's lap at the mall. But Stewie gets scared and Meg sits on Santa's lap with him to calm her brother. But Santa innocently shakes his leg, causing Meg to have a very strange experience on his lap. The worst thing is that this happened with Stewie witnessing everything. The baby, of course, was completely traumatized after that and Meg fell in love with the good old man. She then becomes obsessed with Santa Claus, fantasizing about very wrong and not Christmassy things. If you think about it, this is nothing new for her, as she gets obsessed with practically every guy she gets involved with. This time Santa Claus wasn't even blamed for that, as he didn't want anything to do with her. She already dated Quagmire. Season 10, Episode 10. Did anyone doubt that one day this would happen? Quagmire was always hanging around Meg, making sure he got his chance when she was 18 years old. On her 18th birthday, Quagmire didn't want to wait and attacked. Of course Meg melted with the attention, but there was no way this relationship would work. She already had a son. 22nd season, episode 1. The most recent season hasn't even arrived in some countries yet and it's already got people talking about it. In the first episode, Meg accepts being a surrogacy mother for a gay couple. However, as expected, things don't work out and she doesn't want to give them their baby. I haven't watched this season yet, but it already shows what it's made of. She already faked her own death. 18th season 18, episode 18. In this episode, Meg is mistakenly presumed dead in a car accident. She then takes the opportunity to start a new life, away from all the humiliation and away from her abusive family. But eventually, she tells everyone the truth and everything goes back to normal. She already abused Peter. Season 8, episode 11. In the long list of people, pies, bulls, baseball bats and dust mites, Meg also abused her own father. In this episode she gets into trouble and is arrested. Upon returning from prison, she becomes a different person, no longer accepting being treated like trash and bringing terror to the family. To get revenge on Peter, for all the stupid things he did all these years, she invades the bathroom with a huge object in her hands, while he is taking a shower, and the rest is presumed. This one was so wrong that I had to censor the scene. For those who stayed until the end of the video, there is a bonus, which is basically a theory that I thought of. Based on some information from this and the other video, we can think that most of these facts are not canonical, as they present serious inconsistencies with each other. For example, how could Meg have had a child if she had been born a boy? On the other hand, it makes a lot of sense if we think about a timeline, where Meg was born a boy, had hormonal problems in her adolescence and assumed her male identity in adulthood. If we consider that she had a son, we could completely invalidate this continuity. However, we would be ignoring the fact that she was replaced by a Russian spy. This way, the Meg who had a child would be the imposter. In this theory, the Meg who became a bulletproof vest tester would also be the Russian spy. If we consider that the series constantly plays with time travel, it is not surprising that the timeline was altered at some point. We don't need much mental effort to imagine this situation. So in my opinion, there are two Megs. An original, daughter of Lois and Stan Thompson, and a Russian spy, who took her place at a certain point in the story. Oh, and just for the record, one of the episodes in the 22nd season will bring back Meg's real father. As soon as I watch it, I intend to tell you what happened in that episode. Subscribe to the channel and like the video for more content like this. Take the opportunity to suggest the theme for the next video below in the comments. See you in the next video.